Damon at Wildcraft here again. Just going to show you, sometimes, after you start to grow mushrooms and after you've been around picking them for a certain number of years, what I've noticed now that I'm growing, as a picker, I get what you call habitat eyes, and you start to see favorable habitats for various mushrooms. A morel hunter will know, especially in the Midwest, will know exactly what I'm talking about when they see a blistering dead elm tree in the spring. They spot it and they go stir crazy because they know there might be morels under there. Well, as a farmer, you start to get this sort of substrate eyes, which is another form of habitat eyes. You see substrate everywhere. Right now I'm going to show you. Here is, you can see this is a maple branch, and you look at the tips of it up there, you can see, if you can see that at all, that it's fairly new fallen. Probably came down last summer in a windstorm or something off of this maple tree right here. And so that means that this might be a good tree for, I obviously can't come out here and cut it up and haul it all out of here. But, this is a good sized branch and it's fairly new fallen. What I could do is come back here, you can say it's probably 30 feet. What I could do is come back here with, say, my bush knife and a sporecasting solution, and cut some wedges, just little thin wedges into the bark, and just to give an opening for the sporecasting solution to go into, and take it and cast some down here on this end, and then put a couple of notches in here, and cast the spores down into there. And because this is out in the wild, and it's probably got all kinds of other spores that are landing on it and stuff like that, I would tend to want to use a real vigorous strain, like some sort of oyster mushroom. I got a nice vigorous strain of oyster. And the thing with that is, sporecasting's a hit and miss type of thing. But oyster mushrooms are a vigorous mushroom, and the strain I got is exceptional. So, sporecasting that kind of mycelium or mushroom life into something like this, you increase your chances. Whereas something like if you were to take it on a shiitake, shiitakes will take to maple. They prefer oak. They're not indigenous. There is a native strain to Wisconsin, however, but they're not normally indigenous here. So something like that, you're cutting your chances in half, whereas you take a nice vigorous strain of oyster, and now your chances are right up around 90% that it'll take in there, depending on how much you cast into it. So, and let's see what we got here. I was just speaking about substrate eyes, and this isn't exactly the right area. It's real too swampy for morels. But an example of substrate eyes is, there you go, you can see there's dead elm trees there, and then this elm tree is dead. You're going to get a lot of that in these swampy areas. Elms like to grow in swampy areas and they flood out and die. Unfortunately, the morels don't grow in the swampy of land like this. They need to breathe, and most of the roots are underwater of that tree, all these trees, because I'm right here on a river. This is a floodplain, so that's what kills those off. That being said, I just wanted to show you the old substrate eyes type of thing when it comes to morels. Getting pretty close to the artist conch. We'll see what we find. Peace out.